I'd like to call to order the Westmont Village Board meeting of February the 28th, 2019 to order at 6 o'clock p.m. and ask Clerk Simsky for roll call, please.
Mayor Gunther?
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Addington?
Here.
Trustee Barker?
Here.
Trustee Barry is absent tonight. Trustee Guzzo? Here. Trustee Little? Here. Trustee Nero?
Here.
Attorney Zemanek?
Here.
Village Manager May?
Here.
Finance Director Parker?
Here. Would everybody please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Chief Weiss, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone. It's an exciting evening. And at this point, there's a lot of people here. If there's anybody here that wants to talk to the board for something that's not on the agenda, this is open forum. Raise your hand. If not, then I'll close open forum, move on to under reports. The mayor, I have two big items. I'm going to start with a longtime resident of this community. The family has been very active in the business community, in the government, and they still participate in a lot of different activities in town. Mrs. Simsky turned 100 on Tuesday. And I've asked her son Jerry to read the proclamation that is from me, but I thought appropriate that he reads it. And I do have to say that my wife's birthday is on the 26th, and she's considerably younger than her. She said, I got to say that. So, so Jerry, if you'd like to.
Sure. And before I read the proclamation, the 28th is also very important today because for 42 years, my mother celebrated her birthday on the 28th. Because her mother told her that she was born the last day of February. When she decided to get her driver's license, she sent a letter up to Thorpe, Wisconsin from the court, and they sent back her birth certificate, and it said February 26th. So 42 years and 28, and the rest of them on
They had the year right, though, right?
The year was right. All right, it's a pleasure to read this. It says the proclamation recognizing the 100th birthday of Ann Simsky. Whereas Ann Simsky, born in Wisconsin and living in Chicago, saw the potential of downtown Westmont in 1945. And whereas Ann Simsky and her sister Josephine started the Westmont Dry Goods Center in 1947. And whereas Ann Simsky and her husband Steve then began the downtown Westmont business community with Stevens Department Store, 62 years, OK Hardware Builders, Steffen's Annex Domestics, Family Shoe Store, and unofficially Economic Development Directors. And whereas Ann Simsky lived in Westmont on Cass Avenue, Linden Street, and Lincoln Street for over 63 years, and had 4 sons. One grew up to be current business owner, one grew up to serve a term as mayor. And whereas Ann Simsky has always loved to travel, Westmont has been home, and she has shown it for her focus on community. An active member of many community programs, especially the Westmont Polka Fest. And whereas Ann Simsky is a mother, grandmother, businesswoman, stock market wizard, and the Simsky family keeper of the flame, she is also one of our treasured residents. And it is a privilege for our community to celebrate the 100th birthday of Ann Simsky, longtime resident and business owner in Westmont. And now, therefore, Ronald Gunther, Mayor of Westmont, on behalf of the Village Board and the residents, wish to honor Ann Simsky for her long life, prosperity, and the many contributions she has made to our community. Passed and approved by the Mayor and the Board of Trustees of the Village of Westmont, DuPage County, Illinois, this 28th day of February 2019. Thank you.
I do have a framed copy of the proclamation, and along with that, I have a framed key to the city, key to the village, in honor of her.
Hey, Mom, put it on your window. Everyone in the Oak Trace nursing home will have
Jerry doesn't like to comment on his wife, but she's been serving over 20 years as the clerk and been real active in the service clubs and stuff. So that's another Simsky that has got involved in the community. Thank
Amen.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
But Jerry don't like to talk about you, huh?
Thank you, Mayor. That was good.
Again, happy birthday to you, and thank you for coming. Now, not that that wasn't exciting, but we do have, tonight, we're swearing in a new fire chief and retiring our old fire chief. So at this point, I'm going to
Ain't that
turn.
old?
Yeah, I know, he's not old. I'm going to turn it over to the manager, May, for some comments.
Thank you, Mayor, and everyone, and glad to see everybody here. This is, tough to do, all at the same night and the same time, but it is appropriate, especially with the amount of audience that has, assembled for both. The timing of the retirement of the chief is actually effective tomorrow. Well, at the end of business tomorrow. He's got things to do tomorrow. I got a list for him. And then the village board meeting, and where we'll be doing a swearing in of the new chief as well. We had before this meeting, like all board meetings, we have committees of the village board, and before this one was the public safety committee meeting that is normally scheduled for this night. We had a business that was done, but we also had a long, well-presented goodbye from the chief, to the village board, his department, and, his community as well. And, I mean, so much so that the carpet in this room is 2 weeks old, and I already have to get all the salt stains cleaned out of it. The amount that was in here, you'd think there was a blizzard outside or something. But. So, Dave, you come up here a minute. I've got also recipient of the Fire Employee of the Year, Fire Department. And I've got pages and pages and pages of stuff about Dave, but it was all very well covered at the public safety meeting. So Dave's also joined by his family, his daughters, and has been an active member, not just in Westmont, but in the Illinois Fire Service for over 45 years. And he joined the Westmont Fire Department in 1990, progressing from a training officer and EMS oversight to part-time deputy chief, where he transitioned to the full-time deputy chief in 2007, and then appointed to fire chief in 2012. I've worked with, Dave a very long time in different capacities. I technically am his boss, but it is never. We've been peers. You spoke very well about the relationship between the departments and the community, and that's true for all the staff we have here. And it feels different, than that. So, wanted to thank you for that. In an abbreviated version, if you wanted to say anything that we covered.
Or take
earlier,
as long as you
you
want.
can, but
Thank you.
Thank you for that. I just want to take this time after 45 years in the fire service and 29 years here and 7 as your chief for the last 7 years. It's been an honor and privilege to serve this community. And to our residents out there, you've always been #1 priority in the fire and police departments, and you still are. we'll do everything we can to protect you and your families in this community. And I know when I took over as chief, I had some challenges, not as many as the new fire chief will have, but you know, one of the biggest things is to improve our fire protection in our businesses and our downtown communities, and we accomplished that, and along the way accomplished a few other good things for our community and the fire department, and that's accreditation for 20 years. That speaks very high volumes, and then achieve an ISO 1, which is the highest rating anybody can receive. And as far as I know, the Westmont Fire Department is the only combination department across the United States to be accredited department in an ISO 1. So that speaks volumes. I may have led those charges, but I never would be able to do or accomplish those things without all of you sitting here and all these people back here. So with that, I'm going to say my farewells. I want to thank everybody again, and I want to spend some time with my wife and my family. Thank you.
So next, or kind of a little transitional, we do have a swearing in to do next, but we do have other representatives here that would like to comment a little bit about, well, the department and the individuals that we're talking about. Mr. Dan Chesney is here from Representative Deanne Mazaki's office and has some comments to share.
Mayor Gunter, board, thank you guys for having me. Steve, thank you. I'm here for Deanne Mazaki. She's in Springfield today. Her office is right across the way. Deanne were here today. She would tell you guys that the long and deep traditions of the fire service are on full display when a change in leadership occurs. It's ceremonious and special for the chief who is turning over the responsibility and for the chief who will receive the responsibility and carry on the legacy of leading the department that runs towards danger for the protection of the rest of us. Tonight, the oath is taken by Chief Stephen Riley. Our office knows Chief Riley through our coordination with him in his previous role. We look forward to continue working with him as chief. We are proud of him, his family, and his entire department of dedicated public safety workers who all share the sacrifice and participate completely in the mission to keep us safe. We are all a grateful community that comes together today to congratulate Chief Stephen Riley and wish him the best.
So to introduce, wanted to call him Deputy Chief, I'm just going to already call him Chief Riley.
Chief
You
to
come
be.
up here and join me. There is a lot of people in the audience to do it. You know, much of his family is here too. At a near point, I'll let you introduce all your family that are here with you. Steve has been in the fire service for 31 years. He's followed his father's footsteps, sitting here, in the fire service career in September of 1987 with the Downers Grove Fire Department, and in 1996 worked for the Romeoville Fire Department before coming to Westmont in 1997. With the Westmont Fire Department, Steve began his career as a part-time firefighter then in 1997, rose to lieutenant in 2002, captain in 2004, and deputy chief in 2014, and then full-time deputy chief in 2015. Steve was also a full-time police fire dispatcher with the Village of Downers Grove between the years of 1996 and 2009. Among his many certifications, Steve has achieved Fire Officer 1, Fire Officer 2, and his Chief Fire Officer designation, which is the highest certificate certification in the state of Illinois. While rising through the ranks with Westmont, Steve assumed many administrative responsibilities, including instructor, department scheduling officer, and quartermaster. He's been a member of the mutual aid box alarm system, what we know better as MABUS, Division 10 Fire Investigation Team, that's since 2003. He's also served as assistant coordinator and coordinator for this team. Additionally, for MABUS Division 10, Steve served as the member of the Division 10 Communications Team, as well as instructor for Division 10 on policy reviews, incident safety officer, scene selection officers, and plans chief. Most recently, he's been appointed as treasurer for MABUS Division 10. Steve has also served DuPage County Fire Investigation Task Force, from 2006 to 2017. And beginning in 2015, Steve assumed responsibility as department's accreditation manager. It was instrumental in achieving its fourth reaccreditation with that program. Steve is a member of 7 local, state, and international fire service organizations and has been very active in community outreach and mentoring programs. So it was very easy for me to, come to this conclusion. I asked the mayor to come up, or we're going to officially swear you in, but
Thank you, Manager.
even though we've, had this figured out to now, and it was,
Thank you.
all right, sorry.
All right, if you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Stephen Riley,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that of the state of Illinois,
and that of the state of Illinois,
that I will, with a positive attitude,
that I will, with a positive attitude,
obey and support the rules, regulations, and orders
obey, support the rules, regulations, and orders
of the Westmont Fire Department,
of the Westmont Fire Department,
and that I will faithfully serve the village of Westmont
that I will faithfully serve the village of Westmont
in the discharge of my duties
in the discharge of my duties
as the fire chief of the Westmont Fire Department
as the fire chief of the Westmont Fire Department
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
Congratulations.
If I could bring Dad up, Julie, TJ, and Jack. Dad's gonna get the badge.
A lot of paramedics in the room.
They may tower over me, but they're not that strong yet. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's go right now, just take a picture.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the picture.
Yeah, and again, this is the proclamation or the swearing in. You're not 100, that was the other one.
I'm gonna have you all kind of scoot this way just a little bit. There we go. All right. Ready here, a little tighter. Ready, here we go. Got it, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So as I said earlier, it's been a tough week in the firehouse. Chief Weiss is amazing. Well, first I should say, it's the mayor's birthday, so we should give him a round of applause.
I thought they were here for me.
They were here for you, Mayor. They were here for you. Mayor Gunther, Village Board, and Manager May, I'm extremely humbled, honored, and excited to have been appointed as your new fire chief. My team and I have many goals and visions for the future of this department. I look forward to working with the village board, department heads, supervisors, and the men and women of the Westmont Fire Department and the citizens of Westmont to continue to take this department in a positive direction. With Fire Chief Weiss retiring, I know I have some big shoes to fill, as Trustee Barker has told me. Frank Trout, I want to thank Frank Trout. I know he called me and left the voicemail in my back pocket, but if it weren't for Frank Trout, he's the one that gave me my start back in 1997. As the manager said, I've come up through the ranks from firefighter to lieutenant to captain to duty chief to deputy chief, and now your fire chief. I want to thank my friend and mentor, Fire Chief Dave Weiss, for giving me the opportunity to be his deputy chief the last 4 years, for mentoring me, guiding me, and his leadership and dedication that he spent with me to become the next fire chief. To the men and women of the Westmont Fire Department, I am honored to be your next fire chief. I am so proud the way this department has come together as a family to support each other in a time of need. The Firefighter Association has done great things for this department over the last 3 years. For the fire chief's wife battling her issue, for my wife battling her issue, this department stepped up to make sure we're all taken care of in a timely fashion. Finally, to thank my mother and father for all their love, support, and guidance. My dad's, he retired from Downers Grove in 1993 after 30 years of service. So he just turned 80 last week. My mother and father-in-law, for all their love and support. Numerous family members here in attendance this evening. Manager May, I said I could introduce them all, but I think there's too many to read. But thank all of you in this room tonight that have come out here to support me on this special night. Finally, my wife Julie and 2 sons, TJ and Jack. Thank you for allowing me to follow my dream of becoming a fire chief. You all know the many hours that I have put into this position. I thank you again for allowing me to do this great job that I love to do each and every day. Chief Weiss, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me. Thank you all so much for your support and giving me the opportunity to be your next fire chief. Thank you.
Mayor, I just want to say one last thing, is let you guys say what you want to say about the new chief, but after you guys are done, I would ask permission that myself and the new chief and all of our family here and stuff be excused for the rest of the night from the board meeting.
I was just going to call recess. So if everybody is here for the outgoing chief or our new chief, you want to adjourn into the community room, put this meeting in a recess for 5 minutes. Thank you. I'd like to call back everybody for the meeting. Recess is over, and ask Clerk Simsky for a roll call.
Mayor Gunter,
Here.
the clerk's here. Trustee Addington.
Here.
Trustee Barker.
Here.
Trustee Guzzo. Here. Trustee Little. Here. Trustee Nero.
Here.
Trustee Berry is absent tonight. Attorney Zemanek.
Here.
Village Manager May.
Here.
Finance Director Parker.
Here. Just want to make sure no one left. Okay, so, moving on to reports, I have one other item, the Citizen of the Year nominations. You can check at the westmontchamber.com. It's due Friday, March the 8th. So if you think of somebody who lives in the community that does a lot for the community, please submit an application for them. Trustee Barry is not here. He's out of town. So I'm going to take part of his report, and it's about Restaurant Week. I'm going to call up to the podium our local celebrity, Greg Pill.
Hey, Greg.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. Nice to see you all again. Before we start, I just want to apologize to the group as a whole. I was here 2 weeks ago, and I talked about the 30 restaurants or so that were participating in Restaurant Week. I received a text shortly after from Trustee Nero indicating his disappointment that there weren't enough restaurants. We went back out on the road. We now have 37 Westmont restaurants participating. And I believe I have enough to even take care of Trustee Nero. So my apologies for a low number. We're up to 37. And I think we'd like to kick things off with a little look at Restaurant Week as seen through the eyes of ABC Channel 7.
Which was on today.
This was on today at about 11:45 this morning on the 11 a.m. Morning News with ABC. And we were hosted today by Terrell Brown, one of their midday anchors.
Restaurant Week is now in its third year. There are more than 35 restaurants participating this year. Westmont, by the way, is about 20 miles west of Chicago in DuPage County. Greg Pill, the Westmont Restaurant Week chairperson, is here to talk all about it. Greg, it's nice to see you. Thank you so much for dropping by.
Great to be back.
I mean, this has turned into a wildly successful event.
Well, it's a global affair. They're all over the world now. Chicago just wrapped up a 2-weeker. They'll do another this summer. 15 in Illinois just in the first quarter of this year. This is our third, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
37 restaurants of our 100 in Westmont are participating this year. And it's a great opportunity. They're showcasing specials at $10, $20, $30, and $40. Nice. So there's every price point you can want.
It's affordable.
You can take a look at the website and look at the different menus, make your picks, try something new, visit an old friend, however you want to do it.
Real quick, I want to ask you before we take a walk around. Westmont is really becoming known for its restaurant. What's the food scene like out there?
Well, we have over 40 different ethnic and food preparation types. And just alone in this year's Restaurant Week, we've got 24 different food styles of the 37 restaurants. So if you want Lithuanian or Japanese or barbecue, bakery, Mexican, Italian, it's all there. Mediterranean, they're all there.
Yeah, and our Hungry Hound has been out there too. All right, so we got food all over the place. I'm going to let you walk around, Greg. Take me. What do we have here?
All right, let's start with this one. So, it's nice to start with a cocktail before.
Yeah.
So we've got Whiskey Hill Brewing Company. And they're, as a lot of these craft breweries, located in an industrial park, sort of a gritty feel. So new owners Rob Salerno and Matt Weil together own 15 or more restaurants. The Salerno's Pizza Group, Firewater Barbecue. They're serving some food up on Friday and Saturdays for specials, but we're here to talk about beer.
Yeah.
So they're special. It's a 4-beer sampler, 2 of them for $10.
Wow.
Grab a friend, so maybe you and I after.
There you go.
We go in, we can try 8 different beers for $10. So Dilly's Donuts, a collaborative effort with another Westmont Restaurant Week. They've got Madagascar vanilla beans, coffee, cocoa nibs, and 10 dozen donuts mixed in.
Whew, got it. All right, so what do you have next here?
Moore's Mediterranean Cuisine,
Look at
downtown
this.
Westmont,
Wow.
Mediterranean, as well as Lebanese cuisine. Their offer, $10, and you're in for an appetizer, sandwich, and beverage. $20 gets you a grilled meat platter. We've got lamb, chicken, beef, along with the sides, plus an appetizer, all for $20. They've got the hummus, the baba ganoush, all of them.
Absolutely delicious. Okay, so there's a table both to my left here, two of them with delicious food. Where do you want to go next?
Let's go to the green one. Let's go to the green one here.
Sushi.
So, Sushi House. Been located in Westmont for 20 years now, and it's a vibrant scene, and I confess I've been eating there for all 20 years. I love the place. The inner room with the sushi bar in it is so vibrant. You get to sit and literally we're this close. We can share food, meet strangers who become your friends. So they're doing a list. They've got 10 different signature rolls. They're picking 2 of them for $20. So you've got, first of all, everybody knows the rainbow roll. So you've got the crab stick, the avocado inside, and it's topped with 5 slices of different sashimi, which makes it very, very appealing. The raw power roll, and we've got with the spicy tuna, the dragon roll.
Cannot wait to get to that. And then we finish up with...
We go to Amber Cafe, a little fine dining now. They're doing a $30 menu where you pick appetizer, entree, and dessert. They've been in town for 15 years, and they just remodeled the entire restaurant. It's gorgeous inside, reformatted the menu, kept all the old favorites, added a few Serbian dishes. So, 2 of them.
Get on over here, Tanya.
Did I just hear? Those are my people.
Here we go. Here we go.
They have cevape, and we have palachinke.
Look at
and
you.
Sarma.
Sarma,
See?
there we go.
I know all my food.
And some of the old favorites, this is my wife's favorite, is the grilled rainbow trout, or the grilled trout over finger-length potatoes, roasted tomatoes, sauteed spinach, and this Nutella chocolate crepe. They did a favor for us. They put strawberries in it, so it's now on the food pyramid as a fruit.
Look at
So
that.
you can't miss out on this. It's healthy and ready for you.
My kids make me make these for them every Saturday morning.
This is an amazing spread, Greg. Thank you so much. Here are the details real quick before we go. Westmont Restaurant Week starts today, runs through March 10th. So you have 2 weekends to get out there and enjoy. Price points, as we mentioned before, $10, $20, $30, and $40 dining deals. More than 35 options this year, and a little something for everybody. We've got information posted on our website, abc7chicago.com.
Very good.
So as you can see, we had some fun.
Good job, Greg.
Well done,
As you can see, we had some fun today. We had a good troop of about 10 people come down there, chefs and prep people, sous chefs, executive chefs. They prepare all the food right there in the ABC kitchen. So I started this morning about 3 a.m. with the producer at 4, going through the script and getting it all queued up. We were down there by 9 o'clock. They were cooking by 9:15. So it's really fun. There's a little group picture of most of the group that was down there. So they're from all the different restaurants. I want to thank Terrell Brown and ABC7, and particularly Judy Sue has been very kind to us here at Westmont, who helped coordinate this and set it up. We show this for 2 reasons. One, I get talked out by the end of a long day like this, and you get tired of hearing me, but also because we want to encourage every Westmont resident to share this video. If you're on social media, the way we get invited back, there are several different steps, but one of them is by showing that we care and that we share. So if you have a chance and you're on Facebook and you could share this video and you've got friends who can share it, the further it goes out, the more likes we have. Our one from 2 years ago is still running. It's up to 45,000 views. And it's a high water mark. So anyway, I think we summed it up pretty well there. I've already talked to several people who have gotten out. Restaurant Week started this morning and runs through Sunday, March 10th. And just for Steve Nero, we have 37 restaurants.
Yeah.
Any questions?
I'd like to again congratulate you and the Chamber for starting this 3 years ago. And the marketing and publicity you get from ABC is priceless.
Been great.
And everything you do to promote this. And again, you choose these different restaurants every year. So these aren't the same that were there last year.
Right. So we invite every restaurant in Westmont to participate. So if they're not on the list of 37, they have chosen not to be on that list. So if you've got a favorite, give them a little bit, give them a little razzing and stuff like that, and ask them why they're not on the list. But each year, we choose 4 different ones to go down, so we've had 12 now. One of the requirements I ask is that they bring lunch for 20 people, and we have the whole ABC staff join us afterwards. So today, I think we fed 35 people afterwards. Wow. And it was a lot of fun, because there was great picture taking, great networking, and that's one of the other things that helps bring us back next year. As far as taking care of the staff, because they're so helpful for us, setting us up, coordinating, getting us through security, everything.
Taco Express would look good up there too, wouldn't it?
They were here last year. We're expecting to see them fully operational next year, yes.
Amen.
All right, thank you so much.
All right,
Enjoy
thank
the
you.
evening.
Thanks, Greg.
Nice job.
Moving on, I'll ask Clerk Simsky if she has anything to talk about.
Only took you 3/4 of an hour.
First of all, happy birthday
Thank
to
you.
you, Mayor. And also to Trustee Guzzo, whose birthday was the 25th, and Tony, your wife, Tony, and of course, the 100-year-old person today. We're on the 26th. My brother's was yesterday, so it's just, I don't know. It's
Good
a
month.
birthday time. So I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Our Public Information Committee held our first meeting of 2019. A press release will soon be issued regarding all of the upcoming events, and there are a lot. The People's Resource Job Fair, PRC in Westmont, 104 Chestnut will be hosting a job fair on Thursday, March 14th, 9 a.m. to noon. For more information, contact the PRC at 630-682-5402. And as we just listened to Craig Pill, don't forget to eat restaurant week. I'm looking forward to this. This is the first time I've ever been here for the whole 10 days, so I'm going to eat a lot.
Thank you. Trustee Guzzo.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. A couple things. We held our Public Safety Committee meeting before this. I would like to congratulate the fire department, their efforts for Illinois Special Olympics. They raised a whopping $16,221.54. I want to thank Deputy Chief Gruen and all the members of the police department. We will be on the back of the next Special Olympics Torchlight Run t-shirt, which I assume will be available once we do Cop on Top. Yes. Wonderful. So please be one of the first to get this great t-shirt with Westmont on it. So I want to thank everyone for their efforts. We discussed several things at the Public Safety Committee meeting, but in the sake of time, I want to touch on a couple more items. Thank you to the police department again for all their efforts. Fire department. It was my pleasure to congratulate Dave Weiss. He is our retiring fire chief. Dave received the Employee of the Year award from the fire department. I just want to wish him all the best in his retirement, and I also want to congratulate Steve Riley, who was just sworn in as our new fire chief. So I want to thank them both and thank all the members of the Westmont Fire Department as well. And then I also want to congratulate Rob Sypek Jr. He just got 40 years on the fire department, so I want to congratulate him. And then last but not least, I do want to let everyone know that our next Public Safety Committee meeting will be May 23rd at 4:30 in this room. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And I do have to say, you've got fire in your blood, fire department. You started off saying that the fire department raised the money, but you corrected yourself. It's the police department. I saw Chief Gunther back there cringing, so.
I apologize. The police department does a great job with Special Olympics, and I know that they do a lot of fundraising, so make sure to kind of keep up on all the fundraising efforts. As a resident, it's nice to see everyone involved. So thank you, and I do apologize.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Addington.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Couple of items. First one, real quickly, let's throw out a nice congratulations to the Westmont High School basketball team. They made it to the sectionals this year, had a final record of 26 wins and 7 losses, and we think that that may be the 5th or 6th best record in our school history. I know the Pierre Pierce teams had like 27 and 29. Tyler Pierce, his best year has 24, and I got to kind of go back in history and find out what Morganfield and the Porter team had for total victories. But this was for a team whose tallest kid was 6'2". I think 26 and 7 is a real accomplishment in the day of tall people playing basketball. Kids didn't want to lose. They ran into just a little better shooting team, played great defense. Both teams played great defense, but it was a great year, and everybody should be proud of them. The other thing that I want to mention is, and this is really important, is the alley address ordinance goes into effect now. This is something that we had passed back in September. It's a safety measure. It's if there's a police call or an incident going on, by putting your address someplace visible in the alley, the police department or the fire department can get there quicker and respond faster. And so what's going to happen now over the next couple of months is, come March, there's going to be reminder notices if your number isn't on somewhere on the back of your property visible to the alley. And then starting in April and then going into May, if you still haven't done it, there probably will be some violation notices given. It's not that this is something that we do as a whim, but folks, this is something for safety. Just like Chief Weiss talked about the fact that one of his accomplishments was getting fire alarm notifications in all the businesses in downtown so we can respond faster to those situations. This is the same thing. Let our public safety people get to you when you need us as quickly as you can, and that's the whole purpose of this. So please, put your numbers visibly somewhere on your garage, on your fence, whatever, so that we can find you fast if you need us.
Trustee Addington? Similarly, I mean, with the same point, it's about, you know, if you need help and you're in an alley and you're on a cell phone, you can identify where you're at.
Exactly.
So there's a dual purpose to it.
It protects all of us.
Yes.
And that's the purpose. Just quickly, I want to mention that the Westmont Lions Club is looking to do a possible new project. It's going to be called an Oktoberfest project, and there'll be more details later. I think they're planning, we've got some new members in the club who are coming up with some new ideas, and this is one of them. It's probably going to include at least a 5K run and maybe a 1K fun walker run. We're still working on details, but the thought process is to do it in the downtown area as opposed to the parks in like Thai or something else. So, but we'll keep everybody informed as that moves forward. And then lastly, Patty and I attended the legislative committee meeting last Tuesday morning. You guys have a 2-page memo from me, so you can review that when you get a chance. There's an awful lot of information in there, folks. There's over 5,000 bills have been filed already. Some of them are duplicates, some of them are duplicated both in the House and the Senate, so there'll be some consolidations, I'm sure, down the road. A lot of them have to deal with budget, a lot of them have to deal with pension, and as we move forward, 2 highlights I think that are very important. The first one is that there definitely is going to be a capital improvements bill. I mean, it's almost a given at this point that that's going to happen. If there's something that we as a community see as a need from a capital improvements area, streets, Bob Fleck says, well, how about an overpass? And I said, well, I don't know if that's going to be on anybody's plate with the cost, but you know, even supporting more money into the metro system to upgrade that. This is the time for us to talk to our legislators and get that message out of things that we think is important for us from that standpoint. And then the last thing, which is highlighted, is Governor Pritzker's #1 thing is going to be recreational marijuana. They think that it will be a bill by spring, with probably implementation probably in 2020. And there is, nobody knows yet all the details because they're still being worked out. But we have mayors, I know Roger Craig from Hanover Park, he would love to pass a thing that says they're a drug-free community. But what he's hearing is that this is going to supersede anything that any individual community wants to do. So more on that later, but it's a reality. It's going to probably happen. And there's an awful lot of questions. I think from our police department standpoint, we don't even know yet what's going to be in that bill as far as enforcement if you stop somebody on the street who's smoking. You know, it's up in the air, but it just right now, I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. So, read the rest of it, and more later. I'm sure that Patty and I will have a whole bunch more bills to review at the next one, which will be the fourth Tuesday in March. And then the Springfield Drive Down is May 1st and 2nd. And again, if anybody is able to go to that and participate, that's where we get a chance to really look the legislators in the eyes and try to make something happen. And that's it, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you. One quick question with a quick answer. 33 games they played this year. How many did you attend? How many did you miss?
29, probably.
That's what I thought. So he's the #1 fan.
The rest were board meetings and you
Yeah.
couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't get out of those, unfortunately, yeah.
He always has supported the Westmont High School basketball program, so.
I
we'll
go
move-
back to Morganfield.
You go back a long way. Trustee Barker.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of things this evening. Westmont First will meet on March 18th at 6 PM in the library, and this is a special meeting. This is our Arts and Artists Forum. We're excited to bring the art community together in Westmont here and discuss arts in our community. And then the Environmental Improvement Committee will meet Monday night at the library at 6 PM. And we're working on a couple of things. We're gearing up for the DuPage River Sweep and storm drain stenciling. We're also supporting the library and a Green Speaker Series. They have several topics, and the sign-up begins on February 8th, and that runs through April 17th to the 22nd. That is all.
Well, thank you. Trustee Little.
Thank you, Mayor. Just my first item is the next Administration Finance Committee meeting will be held here March the 14th. And while it isn't a big draw, we will be announcing our Westmont is the Bestmont contest winners. So I know we're gonna have a packed house for that one. Also, the Irish Jig and Swig will be March the 16th. And you do need to register online for that one. You pick a place to start and you go through westmontevents.com. Please make sure you sign up for that one. It's a lot of fun. You'll hit 5 different pubs or restaurants or bars, so that's always fun. And then last, as a member of the EMA, I'm very proud to announce that ABC's Larry Mowry will be featured speaker at our special severe wind weather training. That will be held Saturday, March 9th at 9 a.m. Pre-registration is required, so please sign up online through the village website. It's kind of fun. If you're a weather geek, you'll definitely be there, and if you just want to hear about tornadoes and wind and clouds, you'll come out for it, because it's all fun. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Nero.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few items. Our next Public Works Committee meeting will be March 28th, 4:30, right here at Village Hall. And then I'd like to call up Public Works Director Mike Ramsey to talk about a recent model water tower competition we had. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Trustee Nero. Yeah, this year was our third annual model water tower building contest. We held it on last Saturday at the Westmont Junior High. It's for children that are 6th to 8th grade. This weekend we'll be having our second regional. The first regional was in Westmont. The second one's going to be in Glen Ellen, with the state competition being held at the Westmont Public Works Department Water Division on April 27th. Will be our first state competition we're going to be being held. This year, we're actually going to be giving out scholarship money to the top 3 finishers in the state, $1,500, $1,000, and $500 for the students. We're trying to build up similar to what Florida has done in the past. They've been doing it for 25 years now, and last year their first place winner in the state got $25,000, a 7th grader, so pretty impressive. But we have slides up here from the 3 winners. All 3 were from local Westmont schools. Third place was Oliver Stedick from Westmont, or from Westview Junior High. Second place was Hemza Bedadar from Westmont Junior High School. And first place was Jose Velez Hernandez from Westview Hills. So next, like I said, this Saturday we'll be having the second regional. There'll be schools from the rest of the area around this area. There are going to be schools from Lockport, Glen Ellen, Lombard, and Wheaton. Those winners, the top 3, will compete against these top 3 winners to decide who's the state champion. So hopefully, if one of these fine students from Westmont win, I'd like to bring them to the board meeting sometime in May, and you guys can appreciate all the hard work they've done.
Mike, you're just described well the activity and what we've been doing locally with this, but you've been saying we a lot. Identify the bigger organization that's running all this.
Yeah, it's been great. And not only the Village of Westmont backs this, but American Water Works Association, Illinois section of this association. We get the volunteers. They're 100% supportive of this. This is something we're hoping to get in the near future to the national level, where the winner of the state competition can go to the national ACE competition, or even more, possibly for more scholarships. That's something I'll be working on this year, possibly, hopefully get this started by next year in 2020. But it's just a great event. I encourage other middle schools in the area to participate. It's a great environment. It's a great STEM program for the teachers to promote with their students. We have girls, boys. It's just a great event. So, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Just one of the many things you do to give back to the community. We appreciate it. And it's good timing because it's one of the many things that the village does. Today I had the privilege to be at Westmont Junior High. They had an audit panel. They're being considered for the Illinois Horizon Schools to Watch designation for 2019. It was a very prestigious school award. They asked a ton of questions. I was with a lot of parents, and the common theme was because of events like this. And one of the things that I remember saying is that probably once a quarter, someone from the junior high is here, whether it's a teacher or a student, and it's amazing to hear that the parents and everybody, the common theme really was that it's not a school, it's a community. And they were just very happy with how the way the junior high is run and how the village supports the junior high. So I just wanted to share that. Of course, it goes without saying, thank you, Chief Weiss. I've had the pleasure to be here the entire time he was the chief, and I've enjoyed it. I've learned a lot. Good luck to our new chief, Riley. I'm sure we'll do a great job. And we have a lot of birthdays. So, of course, Mayor, happy birthday. Mrs. Simsky, happy birthday, and happy belated birthday to you, Marie. That's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we move on the agenda, I know Manager May, you're talking about our youth in the community. We had a fifth grader, I believe, from Miller School who came up with solutions for the railroad tracks. So Steve had an opportunity to go attend that, and he's got several that Bob Fleck got it from.
Well, I did, and actually, it was fun to participate with, but it actually started with a letter, an email generated to the mayor from a student, a fifth grader at Miller School that was working on what they call their Genius Hour program, and they all pick a topic and research, do their own work, and then have a presentation of which all wrapped up last Monday night. And young Mr. Carter Sullivan was determined and did an awesome job in solving the traffic congestion problem in downtown Westmont via the attention you talked about an overpass, and I was thinking about, we'll have a solution for that pretty soon, because I also invited him to attend next Admin Finance Committee in 2 weeks so that he can share with you what he did and how that all went about. And another participation, your comments about, the community and the schools and everybody, a community, attending to all of these issues, together and, a common interest. Went to the Genius Hour on Monday night. I mean, that was the person I was kind of paired with and, helped him think through, his process. But there was a lot of interesting stuff there. I mean, I just poked around the room, and I've got a thing for birds, so there was a bird sanctuary presentation, bees, someone was making tornadoes, in 2-liter bottles and everything. So it was a very well done, very impressive program, and hopefully Superintendent Carey, I've invited him. We'll see if someone can describe the program next time too, in addition to the the individual project.
Well, thank you.
What's the solution?
Yeah. We'll find
Wait and
out
see.
at the next.
We'll find out in 2 weeks.
Building suspense.
It'll be at the budget workshop.
Moving on, the consent agenda. Does anybody have any item that you'd like removed? Seeing none, I'd ask Manager May to please read.
First on the consent agenda this evening are village board minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the village board meeting held February 14, 2019. It's followed by finance ordinance number 21 in the amount of $1,367,141. We have one purchase order, Illinois EPA. It's the loan repayment for Burlington Lincoln water main project that we did years ago, but it was a zero interest loan that was done through the Illinois EPA program. And that payment is $25,984.86. There was only one purchase order, so the total of purchase orders and finance ordinance number 21 is $1,393,125.86. We have community events, several. First is the 2019 Red, White, and Barbecue. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following requests for 2019 Red, White, and Barbecue Festival hosted by the Westmont Lions Club on May 24th through the 26th in 2019. That would include community events permit, liquor license fee waiver, amusement fee waiver, live amplified sound permit, tent permit fee waiver. The next event is 2019 Race to the Flag. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following requests for the 2019 Race to the Flag that will be held on May 26, 2019. That includes the community events permit, which also includes the related street closures for that, and a live amplified sound permit. Next is the 2019 4th of July celebration. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following requests regarding the annual 4th of July celebration held at Time Warner Park. The special event traffic plan, which are various combinations of road closures, one-way streets around Time Warner Park throughout the balance of the day. It's a day-long event, so it will be covering 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Second is an amplified sound permit, tent permit fee waiver, and alcohol fee waiver. Next event is the 2019 Westmont Cruisin' Nights and Street Fair. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following requests from the Special Events Corporation for that event, including tent permit fee waiver, live amplified sound permit for the event hours, and street and public right-of-way closures. That is it for special events, but there's one more item on the consent agenda, and that was the proclamation honoring Ann Simsky. And board to consider a proclamation to honor longtime resident Ann Simsky as she celebrates her 100th birthday. And that completes the consent agenda.
Do I have a motion to approve as presented?
Motion to approve, Addington.
Second, Nero.
Motion been made and second. Any on the question? Again, we honored Mrs. Simsky earlier, so I'd ask for a roll call.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee, I'm sorry, he's absent. I started to call Barry. Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move on to new business. A, increase in available Class 23 liquor license. Board to consider ordinance increasing the number of available Class 23 liquor license by one for Zazzo's Pizza, 200 West Ogden Avenue. And I got Deputy Liquor Commissioner Mulhern.
Thank you, Mayor. Zazzo's Pizza has submitted an application for a Class 23 liquor license, which allows them to apply for a video gaming license with the Illinois Gaming Board. Zazzo's Pizza wishes to provide video gaming as an amenity to their business. Their main business will continue to be that of a restaurant. A Class 23 license is needed before any business can seek a video gaming license from the state of Illinois. With me tonight is Sam and Dominic Baracco of Zazzo's Pizza. And before anybody asks, yes, they are one of the 37 restaurants participating in the restaurant week. So I wanted to get that out there as well. They have passed the 365-day time period with no liquor license violations. And my background review, you have a report, and everything is in there. If you have any questions, I can answer those now before I turn it over to Sam and Dominic. But they are eligible to receive the Class 23 license if so chosen to do so. Any questions about my report or anything?
Chief, I had a question, I might as well ask it now, is what was the maximum, what's the most Class 23 liquor licenses we've had in Westmont today?
We currently have, there's two separations. There's a Class 22, which is for your video cafes, Anna's, Penny's Place, and such. And then you have your Class 23 liquor licenses. We currently have 10 Class 23. We have 5 Class 22, for a grand total of 15 licensed businesses with video gaming in Westmont. And then add on to that, each business has 5 terminals each. So we have a total of 75 terminals in operation in Westmont.
I'm just, you know, as we plus and minus, we take one away when it's not being used and stuff.
Correct.
So 15 is the total,
Correct.
and that is the max we've ever had, or have we been up to 16, 17, and we're
No,
back down?
15 is the highest. We lost
Oak Brook Hills.
Oak Brook Hills, we lost one at 63rd and Fairview, the neutral zone. We lost that one, so those 2 were kind of replaced. You have Johnny Blitz, and then the second one hasn't been replaced yet.
Okay.
They were gone before we got to this total today.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Any additional questions for Tom? We're going to turn it over to the owners, the family, to discuss a little bit more detail on the video game.
Yes, so we have another location in Darien that does have the video gaming. The reason that we're asking for the gaming is our guests and patrons are looking for the gaming because they have it and they're so used to it at Darien. We also got into Maze Lake, which is right around the corner here, that they come to the restaurant for the buffet. They're an older clientele, but they also enjoy it just like they would have enjoyed at the Darien one. And we want to keep our patrons happy by going to their choice, whether it's Darien or Westmont, and not keep going to Darien when some of them live on that border of like 55th Street wanting to come this way, but they choose the other one. And it's for the convenience of the customers. So that's what we're...
The location, just where would you put it?
In the corner, hidden on the way to the washroom. So there's the bar, and then it's behind the bar. So just like in Darien, we would have a wall, not advertising it, but it is an option.
So back towards the back.
Yeah, like if you came in and glanced, you wouldn't see it. Just like if you go to the Darien location, it's hidden.
But it could be monitored.
Oh yeah, with cameras and everything else, of course.
Any additional comments, questions? I know Trustee Berry left his comment with me. He said that when we approved this license, this is a type of establishment that it was meant to have it. So he just wanted me to voice that before we have a motion. So do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second Addington.
Motion been made and second to approve. Anybody questions?
And we've also clarified in your notes that distance is not a factor here at all.
I was just going to ask to bring that. Your 2 closest gaming locations are Las Palmas, which is over 1,000 feet to the west, and Anna's Place, which is over another 1,000 feet to the east. And then I threw in Penny's Place, which is up near north of Jewel in that strip mall. Those were the only 3 that are the other closest locations. So they're not within that 500 feet, which has been a concern for the village board before, even though it's not a requirement that I know is something that the board has considered. Again, all the businesses local ones are over 1,000 feet away.
Thank you.
And that was prior to Class 23. We had the 500 feet, except the downtown. We've kind of made exceptions for a downtown area.
Right, as I was telling Dominic and Sam, that the downtown business district is, the things are considered differently there. But overall, I've used as a guideline the board's direction of, preference of 500 feet. However, this is a case-by-case basis. You can use whatever criteria you determine before making your decision. And I think I've given all the facts for that.
Trustee Addington.
Yeah, just one real quickie, and I think you really answered it, but one of the things that has bothered me at other towns is they've allowed, for instance, nothing more than a rope or a yellow tape on the floor to segregate. You had mentioned some kind of you'll have a barrier, maybe half wall or something?
Yeah, 3/4 really.
3/4,
Yeah,
okay.
you will not be able to see
So you can
inside.
still see what's going on, but it'll be segregated.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
That's
If I could
great.
get the camera to work. Hopefully the IT gods are with me. This bottom picture is a picture of their location in Darien. Dominic and Sam both indicated that's what they intend to redo here.
It's nice.
Here's the wall. On the other side of this wall is the video gaming. So when you walk in the restaurant, the only way you can see there's any video gaming is by the green sign here which says video gaming. They have no exterior signage on their location in Darien, and they wish to continue that here. And again, Dominic is, they've indicated that this is a similar wall that they will put in the Westmont location. So it's not, as you walk, Dominic said, as you walk in, you're really not gonna see it. You have to go actually hunting for it.
Any other comments?
Just a quick comment, thank you for the continued investment in Westmont. To a location that needed it, and I appreciate it. It seems like you guys are doing real well, and I know a lot of people love going there, thank you.
And I'd have to agree with them. We were told the age of the people that use these are 55 to 80-year-old ladies. So Mays Lake would be perfect for them to come on over, have a good piece of pizza, pasta, and play a couple games.
Plus, their food is really good. The
Yes.
Lions have used them now for catering 2 or 3 times, and they've done a great job for us. I really like the place.
Good. Well, I'd ask, anybody else? Anybody in the audience? Seeing none, I'd ask for a vote.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Motion passes. Class 23 license. Thank you. Thank
See
you.
you soon. Matter of fact, I think you're catering Tuesday.
Thank you for working with, well, not me.
Thanks. Thank you. Correct.
I have to admit, I was there
I
for
didn't
lunch
even vote,
today.
and I
It was
guess
great.
I didn't vote.
Thank you, man. Keep it up.
New business B, 505 Blackhawk Drive, variance extension. Board to consider an ordinance approving an extension of a variance for lot width for property located at 505 Blackhawk Drive in Westmont. And we've got Community Development Director Sylvester.
Very briefly, Mr. Mayor and trustees, the village has previously approved a variance to allow the creation of some non-conforming lots that don't meet width requirements. The property owner is working on final engineering and hopes to finish that so that they can move on to getting the final plat approved and recorded. But they need an extension on the variance to allow them time to finish up that work.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Nero.
Second Guzzo?
Motion been made and second to approve. On the question.
Just technically, the variance expired back in October, so this approval would be retroactive, as the owner was a little, I think, confused about what was needed to exercise a lot width variance when there's a corresponding preliminary plat that was approved.
And how long will this one?
This will go for one year, commencing in October 2018 to October 2019.
Okay. Seeing no other questions, I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business C, parking variance, 13 West Quincy. Board to consider ordinances approving the following requests for 13 West Quincy Street in Westmont. 1, an ordinance approving a zoning ordinance variance to reduce the number of required parking spaces. And 2, an ordinance waiving the payment of the fee in lieu of providing the required parking spaces. Director Sylvester.
I think everyone here is very familiar with the longtime Westmont business, Taco Express. They are planning to move a little closer to Village Hall. Very excited about that. In order to move into the proposed location at 13 West Quincy, they do need a parking variance. The ordinance would require their business in that location to provide 15 parking spaces. However, there are only 6 parking spaces there, so they're requesting the variance. This was reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission at a public hearing. The public was noticed of that hearing, so people had an opportunity to comment. No one did, either to object or to support it. Staff does support the request, and the Planning and Zoning Commission also voted unanimously to support the request.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Nero.
That's
Second, Little.
Number 1, you're making a.
Motion approved, number 1.
Yeah,
Nero.
the ordinance
One at a
approving
time,
a
yeah.
zoning ordinance variance to reduce the number of required parking spaces. Motion been made and second. Any, on the question? Anybody? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Motion passes. I need another motion for an ordinance waiving the payment of the fee in lieu of providing the required parking spaces.
Motion to approve number 2, Nero.
Second, Little.
Motion been made and second to approve. Anybody on the question? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business D, sign ordinance, text amendment. Board to consider ordinance approving the following text amendments to the Westmont zoning ordinances. 1, amendment to Appendix A, Section 11.07, ground signs of the zoning ordinance to permit the addition of freestanding wayfinding signs in the OR Office Research Zoning District. And 2, amendment to Appendix A, Section 11.11, exemptions of the zoning ordinance to increase the size of directional signs in the OR Office Research Zoning District. Director Sylvester.
So CBRE owns several of the developments along Pasquinelli Drive, and several of those developments are multi-building developments, and the owner came to a village and explained that the current rules for allowable signs was pretty restrictive, and particularly with regards after people left the public street and were in the development looking for a particular suite in a particular building. And so CBRE asked if they could work with staff to come up with some changes to the sign ordinance that would allow some additional signage within multi-building developments just within the Office Research Zoning District, which is primarily along Pasquinelli Drive, although there are a few other parts of town. The village's planning consultant, Con Savoy, did most of the work. I think he did a very good job. He had great cooperation from the property owner and their sign company in researching other communities, including Oak Park and some of our, or not Oak Park, Oak Brook and some of our other neighbors in the vicinity. And they came up with some recommended changes that would allow some additional signage called wayfinding and groundage signage, again, just within the development. This would not increase the amount of allowable signage out along the right-of-way, out along the street. So it's not granting them bigger or more signage out near the street. This was considered by the Planning and Zoning Commission. They also held a public hearing. And after that discussion and that public hearing, they recommended approval, and now it's in front of you.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Addington.
Second, Barker.
Motion made and second. On the question.
Yeah, I'd just like to comment on this one. It's personal to me after last night. I was lost up there last night looking for a suite. This is a couple of weeks too late, but I can see where it's needed, definitely needed. It's very hard to be on the street and read what's on the building and, you know, in a window or something.
Right.
So it's past due. It's a great idea.
And I was able to watch the planning and zoning meeting, and there was a lot of good dialogue that was brought up, not only for people getting in there, but also for all of our public services, public safety. So, yeah, I want to thank everyone involved, because there was a lot of good information that came out of it.
Any other comments? Anybody in the audience? Seeing none, I'd ask for roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business E, assignment of real estate contract. Board to consider an ordinance approving an assignment of real estate contract for the purchase of 25 North Lincoln Avenue in Westmont from Westmont Apartments Development Company, LLC, to the Village of Westmont. I got Manager May or Attorney Zemanek.
Well, I can describe, this is, related to a bigger development agreement that we're working on that has multiple parts. The parcel is located, the developer currently has the contract on the parcel, with intent to purchase, and we are, have all the other properties adjacent to it, and our own planning for our own improvements makes it prudent for us to have control of this parcel sooner than waiting for the full, agreement to be done so that we can proceed on our own timeline. So this action allows them your acceptance of their transferring or assigning that contract offer to the Village of Westmont for all the exact same terms.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Nero.
Second, Little.
Motion made and second on the question.
The ordinance allows the village manager to proceed to closing and execute the customary documents that are needed to close, and authorizes Spencer to send the requisite purchase monies when the time comes.
Any other comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Motion passes. Miscellaneous. Does anybody have anything to add? Larry, anybody from the audience?
Happy birthday.
I didn't do that, okay. I got an,
we should've.
no,
We
we
had
got an
that house
executive
full.
session. We need an executive session
Do.
for the purchase of property for the use of the village pursuant to Section 2C5 of the Open Meetings Act and setting the price for the sale of real estate owned by the village pursuant to Section 2C6 of the Open Meetings Act. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn executive session, Nero.
Second, Little.
Motion been made and second adjourned to executive session. I'd ask for roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee
Yes.
Addington.
We will be adjourning
Almost didn't get it
to
out, did you?
executive session, and there will be no further business when we're done. Thank you.